Hello viewers, welcome back to the classes, and today in history we are going to discuss here the advent of the Muslims to India and how the Muslims established the rule in India, and later we will try to analyze the history of the Muslim rule in India, which covers the medieval period. This advent of Muslims can be called as early medieval period. So we find here it was in 7th century the religion Islam was established by Prophet Muhammad Paigambar. Islam word means to surrender. That is, one should himself surrender to the God. So he should be mainly the follower of the God. To surrender, the word Islam means, which is based on 5 principles, mainly kalma, namaz, zakat, roza and hajj. These are the 5 principles on which the religion Islam is based. Kalma means belief in one God. Namaz, every Muslim has to offer 5 times the prayer to the God. Zakat, religious charity. Roza, that is fasting during the holy month of Ramzan, or called also as Eid ul Fitr. And Hajj, the holy pilgrim to Makkah and Medina. So these are the 5 principles on which the religion Islam is based. The origin of the Islam was in Central Asia, and within a span of 100 years, we find Central Asian communities were united under this religion. And one of the prominent community among them were the Arabs. And the Arabs here were the first Muslim community to invade India in 712 AD. The community of the Arabs invaded India. The invasion was on the territory called as Sindh, which is today the part of Pakistan. Now, we will try to understand what is this Arab invasion. Why Arabs invaded India? What made them to invade India? So Arabs here had become powerful and rich because of their trading activities. So one of the incidents which made the Arabs to invade India was, it so happened the Arab ship traveling from Sri Lanka to Arabia were looted at a place called Debal in Sindh. The result of this was the Arab governor Al-Hajjaj demanded compensation from the Sindh ruler by name Dahir. However, Dahir refused to pay the compensation on the ground that he was not responsible for the event. It was a case of the pirates. Pirates means the sea robbers. So he refused to give the compensation, which enraged Al-Hajjaj, and he sent an Arab army to invade Sindh under the leadership of Muhammad bin Qasim. So who is considered to be the first Muslim invader on India. Muhammad bin Qasim, who was the general of the Arab army who invaded in 712 AD the territory of Sindh. And there was an encounter between Dahir and the Arabs, in which Dahir was killed. And we find here Muhammad bin Qasim here took a lot of treasures of Dahir along with his 2 daughters, here by name Surya Devi and Parmala Devi. They were taken here to Arabia. However, it is these two daughters are said to be responsible later to poison the ruler of mainly the here Arabia, and they got killed Muhammad bin Qasim. So this is what we have mainly the event that took place. They poisoned the ears of the ruler of Arabia and got killed Muhammad bin Qasim. This is how they took the revenge of their father here by getting the death punishment to Muhammad bin Qasim. However, this was the event which had taken place. It was in 712 AD. That was the first Muslim invasion on India. Now, what was the impact of this, we have to see. The impact here was, so Arabs, as they were traders, so they found that India was having a great potentiality of the trade. Hence, the Arabs started migrating to India and settled on the west coast. Gradually, they made their settlements in the west coast in a span of 300 years. From the territory Sindh to Malabar in the south, that is the Kerala coast. So the whole west coast came to be dominated by these Arabs. So they were the trading community. So what we notice is the migration of the Arab traders to India, and they started making the settlements. So with the coming of the Arabs, we can see in India a new religion came, that is Islam. Islam here was the religion which entered India. Usually students here, mainly if these two foreign religions which have entered India, that is Islam and Christianity. If the question is asked, which religion has entered first, whether it is Islam or Christianity, usually I find the answer from the students that here it is mainly the Islam, they say. And Christianity became popular in India here after the 15th century. So this is the answer we get. But in reality, if you see, the first religion to enter among these two was Christianity. It was in 52 AD. One of the apostle of Jesus by name Saint Thomas came to India, settled at Chennai, which was earlier known as Madras, and propagated the religion. So Christianity was the first to enter, which entered India in 1st century AD, and later it was Islam. But Christianity became popular with the coming of the Europeans. So just keep this here in the mind. So we have a new religion coming to India. A new culture was born in India. Along with this, we find the introduction of the Arabic language in India. Arabic language was mainly introduced in India. Followed by this, we have got trade contacts here developed between West and East. So Arabs were mainly responsible to carry the commodities of India to the Western world, that is European markets. So this here was mainly the trade prospered between West and the East. This was because of the Arabs. So usually Europeans used to call Arabs as the cultural ambassador of India in Europe. So this is how the terminology has been used. So Arabs were mainly responsible for this. But however, we see that no political rule of the Arabs was established in India. Politically, we don't have any rule in India. So it is only cultural impact can be seen. However, later it was in the 11th century, we have the Turks coming to India. 11th century, we find the Turks invaded India. And among the Turks, the first invader was Muhammad of Ghazni, or usually we call it as Muhammad Ghazni. So actually it has to be pronounced as here Muhammad of Ghazni. Ghazni is the name of a place in Afghanistan. So he was a Turk and he invaded India in the 11th century from 1000 AD to 1026 AD. The invasion of Muhammad Ghazni took place. 1000 AD to 1026. The purpose of his invasion was to confiscate the wealth of India, to loot the wealth of India, as he knew that here India was very rich. So he thought of mainly confiscating the wealth. It was with the economic purpose here Muhammad Ghazni invaded India. In a span of 25 to 26 years, he has invaded India 17 times. Muhammad Ghazni invaded India 17 times. So here, if you look at mainly the invasions, mostly they were targeted against the frontier territories, and destruction of the temples was there, breaking of the idols was there, and the wealth of the temples was looted. Hence, Muhammad Ghazni has been called as the idol breaker. This is the word used for here Muhammad Ghazni, idol breaker. It was Muhammad Ghazni's invasion was here mainly economic ruination to India. Economically, India was exploited. The wealth of India was drained. Out of his 17 invasions, 2 invasions are to be remembered, where you can expect the question. Like the 11th invasion which took place in 1018 AD and the 16th invasion which took place in 1025 AD. These 2 invasions are important. Taking the first one, 11th invasion was directed against Mathura. So on the way we find lot of temples at Thaneshwar and Mathura were destroyed. But the importance of this invasion was when Muhammad Ghazni came to India, along with him we have a scholar coming from Central Asia by name Al-Biruni. Al-Biruni came to India along with Muhammad Ghazni. Al-Biruni was a great scholar, a geographer, a historian here, and here he was interested in the Indian culture. He wanted to acquire the knowledge of the Indian culture. So Al-Biruni, whose early name was Abu Rayhan, his early name is Abu Rayhan, but popularly known as Al-Biruni. So he stayed in India for 6 years, learned Sanskrit at Varanasi, and then acquired the knowledge of the Indian books. Particularly, he was very much interested in the science books of Aryabhatta and Varhamika. He read these books. He read other books by which he was enriched with the Indian culture. And after his return, here by staying for 6 years, he stayed in India and he returned back, and he composed the book Kitab-ul-Hind, one of the best book which speaks about the condition, social, political and the economic condition of India in the 11th century. Kitab-ul-Hind, or it is also called as Tahqiq-e-Hind. Tahqiq-e-Hind. Kitab-ul-Hind means, Kitab means book on India. Tahqiq means here inquiry, investigation. So Tahqiq-e-Hind. So it is a whatever he saw, inquired, he learnt, he reflected in this book. So this is one of the best book to understand the 11th century condition of India. In this book, one of the reference which has been made by Alberoni is, he states here, the political weakness of India which has made Muhammad Ghazni repeatedly invade on India. Repeatedly they have invaded India because of the political weakness of India. The Indian rulers are not united. Had the Indian rulers been united and fought against Muhammad Ghazni, he would not have dared to invade here so many times. So he speaks about the political here, mainly the condition there. So it is an unbiased here, mainly here reflection which has been done by here Alberoni. So that is one of the invasion, and the 16th invasion was directed against Somanath in Gujarat, where Chalukya king Bhimadeva was ruling, and the result was the Somanath temple was destroyed. This is here what we have got, mainly here the two important invasions. And 17th invasion was against mainly the tribes of Punjab there, and here later he did not invade any invasion. 17th was the last invasion. So his invasions impact was no political rule in India, but only economic drain from India. After Muhammad Ghazni, we have Muhammad of Ghor, Sultan Muhammad of Ghor, who invaded India in 1191 and 1192 with the intention to establish a Muslim rule in India. However, the first attempt, 1191, was a failure. He was defeated in the first battle of Tarain. Tarain is a place in Haryana state. He was defeated at Tarain by the Rajput king Prithviraj Chauhan. So the first attempt was a failure. First mainly invasion was a failure. However, in 1192, Muhammad Ghori reorganized his army, invaded again. At the same place, Tarain, second battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori defeated and killed Prithviraj Chauhan. So this was one of the historic battle in our Indian history, which marked the entry of the Muslims in the Indian politics. So here Prithviraj Chauhan died. It is said that one of the Indian ruler who betrayed Prithviraj Chauhan was Jaichand, the king of Kannauj, who was also the father-in-law of here Prithviraj. But the domestic rivalry had made him to join hands with Muhammad Ghori, and he supported him against his son-in-law there. That is the fate of India in many circumstances. Here we can notice it. Indians are betrayed by their own people. So Muhammad Ghori won the victory and captured two territories, Lahore and Sindh. Lahore and Sindh were captured by Muhammad Ghori. And before he returned, he appointed his two representatives here, who were also his slaves and also the commanders. At Lahore, Qutbuddin Aibak was appointed. At Lahore we have Qutbuddin Aibak, who was appointed as the representative of Ghori. And at Sindh it was Nasiruddin Kabacha. These were the two representatives of Muhammad Ghori here in India. After the return of Muhammad Ghori, here Aibak launched the extension of the territories in India. And from 1192 to 1206, he annexed the territory of Ajmer, Kannauj, Aligarh, Bihar and Bengal region. So the Gangetic Plain came under the possession of the Muslims. It was during this invasion, one of the commander by name Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Khalji invaded Bihar, and he was responsible for the destruction of the Nalanda University. It was in 1202 Nalanda University was destroyed. Later, 1206, death of Muhammad Ghori, and immediately Aibak, by making Lahore as the capital, established the first Muslim dynasty of India, which is called as the Mamluk dynasty. Called as the Mamluk dynasty. Mamluk in Arabic word means slave. So popularly we call it as the slave dynasty. The first Muslim dynasty of India, or also called as Ilbari dynasty. Ilbari was the community to which Aibak belonged. And Aibak was the first Muslim ruler of the India, and Lahore was his capital. This is how here the Muslims invaded India and established their rule in 1206. So from 1206 to 1526, and from 1526 to 1707, this history, Muslim rule in India, the domination of the Muslims, the Delhi Sultans and the Mughals. The 500 years history is the rule of the Muslims in India. So this is how mainly we find the rule of the Muslims was established in 1206. In our next class, we will try to understand the rule of the first Muslim dynasty, that is the slave dynasty. So this here will be the next topic which we will be discussing. Thank you.